Good evening. Today I will talk about the chapter found in language curriculum design by ISP Nation and John Macalister. It is the first chapter of their book, Language Curriculum Design and Overview. I will also connect their ideas with the ideas found in Doug Neal's videos. I will make a connection or a relation between both the chapter and the videos. All right, in the next slide, we will see how this presentation will be structured. The summary of the steps were taken from the chapter 2. Number 1, examine the environment. Number 2, assess needs. 3, decide on principles. 4, set goals and choose and sequence content. 5, design the lesson format. 6, include assessment procedures. And 7, evaluate the course. Okay, we have to examine the environment in which the curriculum will take place. We need to consider many factors. For example, the teachers. Who are the teachers? The students, who are they? And we also need to take into account materials, sources, the time in which the curriculum will be implemented, how, what tools will be used. Yes, that all of those factors have an impact in the curriculum and they must be taken into account. Okay, in the next slide, we need to assess needs. According to Hutchinson and Waters, 1987, we need to consider the learner's needs into necessities, what the learner has to know in order to function effectively, lacks, what the learner knows and what doesn't know, and wants, what the learners think they need. All of this must be taken into account in order to satisfy them so that the course is successful. If this is not taken into account, well, we will have negative results. The course will be not successful, obviously. Okay, decide on principles. According to the authors, we need to take into account language research in order to design the curriculum. We need to find what others have said or what others have studied. We need to know the information that is out there. That is our guide. We cannot ignore it. For example, there are many methodologies, language methodologies that we can take into account in order to design the curriculum. So we cannot just found our curriculum without the knowledge. Okay, so, and then we have goals and how to sequence it. This is very important. This is the central part of the curriculum. We need to know why we are doing this, for what purposes. If there isn't a purpose, there is no point in learning it. So we need to know why we decided to design it in the first place. Okay, And then we need to find the formats and material. Okay, according to the videos we saw with Doug Neal, he talks about the clothesline method, and I can relate this to this chapter of the book. So what Doug Neal talks about in his videos is the clothesline method, and in this method we visualize from which point the students are and where they will get. Yes, and we need to structure all this process, and we know that it will not be linear. There will be changes, there will be modifications throughout the format, and that is acceptable because we are assessing, and that is the next part of the presentation. But before I continue, let's keep on track with the format. So in the clothesline method, this is where we will include materials. This is where we will include lesson plans. This is where we will include our reflections or our thoughts that we have spontaneously. Yes. And okay, also, now that I've mentioned spontaneity, Doug Neal also mentions that in his videos, that it is okay to have a certain spontaneity in the format, but it is recommendable to have a format and to have a sequence. Yes, because when we have a sequence, the students learn the sequence, they get used to it, they know what comes next, and their learning becomes simpler. Okay, so now, as I was saying, we need to have a form of assessment of the curriculum. We need to know what has been useful or not. We need to know if the students or the clients are being satisfied throughout the course. And there are many ways of assessing a course, maybe a questionnaire, or having informal talks with the students or the clients, surveys. And now evaluating the course, it is very important how successful it was, so that the curriculum designers decide if the curriculum should be continued or discontinued, or if there should be modifications to the course, and or if it should be eliminated completely. This is very important so that we can keep attracting learners, or so that we can keep the learners in the course, so that they can continue in the program. Okay, so let me go back. So those were the 7 steps of having a successful curriculum design. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for listening to this presentation. I will be looking forward to your comments, and especially your comments, your feedback, which will be useful for the improvements of my presentation. Thank you.